Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show. My name is Pastor Ralph Graves Jr. Welcome, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, LinkedIn, wherever else will be joining on later on. Thank you for being a part of the program. It's Wednesday, it's 10 a.m., and we are here. All the people on Instagram, how are you? How you doing? I'm getting the camera situated. Of course, it's sliding all over the place. And Facebook, good morning. How are you guys? Guys, we got a great topic today. But before we even do any of that, good morning, co-host. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you guys doing this morning? All right?
Yep.
Yes, I'm well.
Annette Drayton, my cousin from Delaware. Thanks for checking in. I often say if your family don't check you out, you got work to do. Thank you for checking me out in Delaware. What's happening, Jennifer? How you doing? Good to see you. Ladies, how was this past weekend? You know, I'm a big football buff. It was, good morning to Shona Clark, big football buff. So, you know, I watched the playoffs. And congratulations to you, Janelle, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Thank you so much. And I would also like to say, because, you know, everyone thinks, or like, I know some people who like switched because Tom Brady came over.
Yes.
But no, I have been a fan of the Buccaneers since 2006.
Yes, you have.
Albeit not for football reasons at all.
Well, why did you like the Buccaneers? Why did you like, hey, Suzette?
The Buccaneers came out, well, not the Buccaneers. The Pirates of the Caribbean came out around the same time. So that's pretty much it right there.
So your fandom was based on a movie.
Yeah.
Kaya,
you watching
any football this weekend or no?
No.
You watch any basketball this weekend?
Absolutely not.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Smooth the Barber said Janae's a real fan.
Yes.
Yes, she is. She's been a fan for a long time. Like most women, I thought she was a fan because she just liked the uniform, but evidently it has something to do with the Pirates of the Caribbean. But anyway, it's a wonderful Wednesday morning. What's today's date? January 29th? 27th. Okay, I'm 2 days ahead of time. We're talking about today. I got a great topic today. We're talking about get into gear. Get into gear. Now, if you have a pen or pencil, get it out. There are 5 very short points, but we're talking about 5 gears. Now, I have to set this up. When we talk about get into gear, we're talking about if you've ever driven a car that was a manual, that was a stick shift, right? A manual. Even if you don't drive a manual, drive an automatic, your car has gears, okay? Your car has gears. If it has a transmission, it has gears. And so we got to talk about getting into gear. Now, I got this from a friend of mine named Jeremy Kupacek, who I talked to yesterday on my podcast. Will be aired, I think, next week or the week after. Gary is responsible for Chick-fil-A. If you see the success of Chick-fil-A, Gary's responsible for that. He was a huge part in the national success of Chick-fil-A. So I really got a chance to sit down and talk to him. He's responsible for the success of the John Maxwell team and stuff like that. But anyway, he has a book out. He has 5 books out. And we were discussing this one yesterday. It's called 5 Gears. And I thought I'd share it with you guys today because at any given time during any course of the day, you and I operate within these 5. And if we add reverse, good morning, Melanie. If we add reverse, it's a 6 gear. So at any part of the day, we are operating within these gears. So get a pen, get a pencil, strap in, and write it down because it'll really help us in how we deal with one another and knowing where we are during the course of the day. So we're going to talk about that, some of that. Also, we have a question of the day. Janae, what's the question of the day?
The question is, when was the last time that you bet on yourself?
When was the last time you bet on yourself? When was the last time you bet on yourself? When was the last time? What's happening, Pastor? When was the last time you bet on yourself? So don't be afraid to share that because you ought to be betting on yourself. I put out something today in the Truth Boost, simply said, what did it say? Oh, what happened has happened. What happened has happened. No sense in looking back in regret. Press forward with hope instead of looking backward in regret. If you want to get those truth boosts, you can text me at C3E. Text C3E to the number 313131, and you'll get those truth boosts every morning. Also, too, we're going to continue in our mug giveaway. Now, I got about 5 more mugs to give away. Is that right, Kyra? How many I got left?
Yes, 5.
We got 5 mugs, right? 5 mugs to give away. The rest of you guys who emailed me last week, your mugs are in the mail. I got 5 mugs. So the first 5 people, the first 5 emails I get, email me at ralph@ralphgravesjr.com and just say, I want a mug. I like to have a mug, and give me an address to where I can send it, and we will mail your mug right out. The mug's just a black and white mug, says Ralph Graves Jr. If you haven't already, guys, go over to Barnes & Noble. Go to Amazon.com. Grab my book, Unstoppable. Is there a picture of that? Where's my book at? Picture of Unstoppable. I should have it. I wrote it, right? My #1 best-selling book. There it is, Unstoppable. There it is, everybody. I'm showing Instagram Live. All right, Unstoppable. Anywhere books are sold. 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. Now, look for, once I get your, if you ever email me and tell me you want to be a part of my email list. Hey, Sierra, how you doing? If you want to be a part of my email list, because we're going to start something with Unstoppable. We also have the Gulfstream Way, but we're also offering some videos you might be able to get with Unstoppable in the soon and coming months. Some videos that will break down each principle. You'll get me, and we'll be talking about how to break down each chapter, each principle. So look out for that. But anyway, guys, we're talking about get into gear. We're talking about get into gear. Like I said, get a pen, get a pencil, record this, share this with somebody. I keep moving this Instagram camera around because I can't get it right. We're talking about get into gear. There are 5 gears, guys, that we operate in all day long. All day long. And 5 gears, maybe 6 if we count reverse, just like in your car. Gear number 1, first gear. Boop, 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 boop. First gear, and then we're going to get into some other things. First gear is rest and recharge. All right, that's gear number 1. You know how your car takes off. It's like gear number 1. Gear number 1, rest and recharge. Most people struggle to truly recharge, not just crash. Okay, we're not talking about crashing, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about recharge. Most people struggle to really recharge. Successful people, there are strategies. Then maybe we'll go into this next week as I kind of talk about some things, give you some strategies. There are some strategies that successful people use to take time to recharge so that they can give their families, their teams, and their friends their best. And so if gear number 1 is rest and recharge, ladies, what are some of the things you do for rest and recharging? That's gear number 1, rest and recharge.
I don't know. I just kind of sit there.
You just gotta sit there. Okay. I mean, whatever it is.
A cup of tea.
For your recharge. What do you do, Instagram? What do you do, Facebook Live? What do you do, YouTube Live? What do you do for rest and recharge? That's gear number 1. And the reason why we're going through these gears and even the 6th gear of reverse is because not only you, sometimes when you're trying to communicate with other people, you have to be aware of what gear they are in. All right. So like if I get to gear 5, which we're going to talk about, and you're in gear 1, which is rest and recharge, the conversation's probably not going to go as planned. All right. So I hope this is going to make sense after a while. All right. Kyra, what do you do for rest and recharge?
I don't really know. I guess relax.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a lot. I don't have that much going on that I need to like I'm pretty young relatively. My body kind of bounces back after a lot of things. So
you hear her, I'm relatively young. Go ahead.
So not yet. So I'm
say the other day
open to suggestions, when I hit that age where rest and recharging is really important.
Yeah. Well, we're getting some great comments on Facebook Live. Michelle Graham says massages. I get that. I can't have, I understand it. Flash Lewis, vacations. I get that. Rest and recharge on vacation, right? Said before COVID, he would do day trips within a 4-hour drive. That's awesome. It's a young man with a plan. So what do you do for rest and recharging? What do you do for rest and recharge? I heard someone say, I heard Janae talk about her age. My cousin on Instagram Live, she says that she's learning to meditate, stretch, and breathe. All right. There are, and we're going to dive into some of those maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll dive into some success tips on how successful people recharge. And I love what you guys are saying. Smooth the Barber, Mike down in Pleasantville says, read to recharge. He reads to recharge, So apply these things. That's gear number one. Apply these things. Learn that, you know what? Let me drop down into gears. Let me drop down into first gear. Right now, I need to be in first gear. I need to rest and recharge. For me, how I rest and recharge, if you know me, I'm very stingy about Sunday night to Monday night. I call that my Sabbath. When the sun goes down on Sunday till the sun goes down on Monday, that's my rest and recharge. I don't answer emails. I don't answer phone calls. I don't do a whole lot. I'm not active a whole lot of places until the sun goes down on Monday. I'm a pastor. I'm a Bible believer. I believe that God left the formula. Now, I'm going to give you 5 gears, but it's funny. Everything that I give you is rooted in the Word of God, right? So one of the things that God gave us, He told us to honor a Sabbath day, and whatever that day is for you, and my Sabbath for me is Sunday night to Monday night. That's my Sabbath time. That's the day of rest. If God Himself, the creator and ruler and maker of heaven and earth, worked 7 days, worked 6 days, and on the 7th, He found time to rest, then that's the formula for my success. And it has worked out for me. It also has worked out for Chick-fil-A. I keep telling y'all, the guy I talked to yesterday did the whole plan for Chick-fil-A. And it's crazy that he and I are now, we now talk. Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday, but you go there today, there's a line around the building. They ain't missing no money. They honor gear one. They honor a Sabbath. They honor a day of rest and recharge. Deshauna Clark says she likes to sit still and be quiet. She also says she loves to sit by a body of water and just listen. When it gets warm out, that's one of our favorite things for me and my wife to do. We just head down the shore and we just sit on the beach. And I often say, if you got to take a radio to the beach, you miss the whole purpose of going. You miss the whole purpose of going, So gear number 1 is rest and recharge. Guys, what about the question of the day? When was the last time you bet on yourself? Somebody said every day. Every day. That's what Mike said. Every day. You bet on yourself? Every day I walk into the job. That's right, Melanie. Every day. If you're not betting on yourself, you can't expect anybody else to do it. Jennifer Woodard says, I bet on myself every morning when I wake up and my feet hit the floor. All right, now. You got to have this confidence. You have to have a confidence that you do belong. And I say that. We did a show on, when we're back with Beasley Radio, we did a show on imposter syndrome. And that is achieving and then feeling like, I've achieved so much, I may not belong here. No. If God granted you space in that particular space, you better bet on yourself. You belong there. So gear number 1 was rest and recharge. Any comments on that, ladies? Any comments?
No, I like it. Gear 1 is cool. But okay. Like with your whole car situation, I'm kind of being taught how to drive a manual car. Mm-hmm. And apparently gear 1, you don't want to be in for too long.
Tell it, Janae, tell it.
Yeah, like gear 1. It's necessary, but if you stay there too long, your car will stall.
Are you hearing her? Are you hearing what she's saying? That's wisdom. She said, even in cars, if you stay in gear 1 too long, it'll stall. So as much as we like gear 1, if we stay in gear 1 too long, guess what will stall? Us, our dreams, our visions, what God has given us. Hey, Amy Montanez. Amy Montanez is on Facebook.
She's on YouTube.
Yeah, she's on YouTube. Thanks for checking in, Amy. Now, check this thing out with Amy. If you go over to Spotify, or if you go over to my podcast, wherever you listen to it, Spotify, iTunes, we just did a wonderful podcast with Amy yesterday. Great story. Thank you, Amy, for checking in. Thank you for being part of that. Rashonda Create says, I say that about Chick-fil-A all the time. That's why they're successful. They make the main thing the main thing. It's God. You have to put him first. You have to put him first and live life according to how he has planned it. Now, if God himself has planned that you should take a Sabbath, then you should get one. But like Janae said, nowhere in the Word of God does it tell you to stay there. Not even when you're driving your manual car. Nowhere are you. You're not supposed to stay in gear one too long, or the car will stall. And if you stay in gear one too long, you will stall. So there you go. All right. Gear one, rest and recharge. Gear two. Gear two. You ready for gear two? Gear two is connect deeply. Now, I've rested and recharged. Now, remember, these five gears, anybody that you're dealing with, whether they know it or not, they're in some of these gears. Okay? They're in one of these five, and even reverse. When we talk about what reverse is, they're in this gear. And so you have to know what gear you're in. You got to try to guess or figure, okay, maybe it's not the right time to talk to them because we're a little off at this time. So gear number two is connect deeply. How often do you have deep, refreshing conversations, right? Do you really know how to be present with other people? I tell you to take notes because this kind of shows that you're present in the conversation. These notes are for you. I ain't giving nobody no test, anything like that. But gear number two is connect deeply. Now, you can't be in gear 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 at the same time. You can only be in one at a time, right? Connect deeply. How often do you have deep, refreshing conversations? How often do you have that? How do you really know? And it's two-part question. Do you really know how to be present with other people? Do you know how to be present? You know how to be present in the conversation? Talk to me. How often do you have deep, refreshing conversations? Anybody care to chime in? How often do you have them? How often?
I just turned my microphone. Okay. I think having deep conversations is easier with people that I actually know. It's hard for me to connect deeply to people that I just don't know. Like, yeah. And when I say no, I mean like years. Like, it's hard for me to have known you a few months and even want to connect deeply with you. I'm just like, there's no time there. I just said it. I don't really care to know you that way. And I don't want you to know me that way either. So the second gear is really hard for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for some, it's hard. I mean,
it's not with family and friend.
Somebody, AKA 4036 says, deep combos usually come with common interest and topics on Instagram Live. Michelle Graham says on Facebook here, not often enough, but I didn't realize that till now. And I'm going to comment on what you said.
Yeah.
Smooth the Barber said, he's a barber. And so he's always giving input. He's always connected. When you have a career like that, Amy Montanez says once a week, when you have a career like being a barber, a hairstylist, or where you have people sitting in the chair for 15, 20 minutes, yes, you're present and you'll find out a lot about people. Yeah, bartenders too, I guess. Find out a whole lot about people, a lot about yourself. Now, this is the second part of the question was this. The second part is, do you know how to be present with others? Now, whether you've known me a long time or not, Janae, and those who I don't want to get to know nobody, if I'm having a conversation, have you learned how to be present in that conversation? To be present right here? Because a lot of times we'll be present in body, but not present in mind. And we might miss something valuable either out of that conversation or something we don't take away what we need to take away. And so second gear is not only about having deep, refreshing conversations with friends or loved ones, but knowing how to be present with others. You guys are going to be in contact with people today, whether you're trying to sell goods and services, whether you're trying to buy goods and services. Gear number two is, I need to be present in this conversation. I've got to be present when I'm on the phone talking to Verizon or whatever. I've got to be. It's not just about me getting my point across. Not about just being heard, but I gotta be present. Yes.
I can do that part for the sake of doing a job, but I don't feel like that's genuine connection.
Right. Well, it was a two-part question. The first part was connecting deeply, and I get it, with your family and friends. My wife and I, she took something from your house, and we just sat around and we just asked each other questions that were phenomenal, and we had a great time. Again, married 30 years in March, and still connecting deeply through deep conversations. PR Panther says this is something I struggle with because my mind is always on the next thing. We're going to get to you. There's a gear for that. We're going to talk about that gear. Rashonda Create says, being present for me is honestly about what the conversation is about. If it's mindless, then I tend to drift. Okay. Listen, this is why we're having these conversations, so we get to know each other. That's why we're talking about this today. Gear 2 is, all right, I need to connect. Maybe a friend, a spouse, maybe you get a phone call. Maybe somebody is calling you. They're in gear 2. You're still in gear 1, or you're in gear 4, and you miss this opportunity to connect with one another, to connect deeply. Shauna Clark says, weekly with a ministry class of great women, also with good friends, and as a wellness coach, I connect with others often. It's important that we do make a connection. And man, each one of these gears can be a show on its own. I think we probably need to be clear what connection is. Connection is not you knowing all my business and not me knowing all your business. If anything, it's knowing my heart in the area of that conversation, and me knowing your heart when you're conversating with me. Does that make sense? I'm not talking about you, just pouring it all out. There's areas in my life that you don't need to know. There's areas of your life I don't need to know. But when I'm talking about connecting deeply and within the conversation of the moment, or being present, is knowing your heart in that particular moment. Does that make sense, Janae, Kaya, anybody?
Yeah, it makes sense, especially because when I get caught, and I say caught because I'm just very introverted. So when I get caught in those, I'm in the moment and I'm very aware that this moment is happening, and I just want it to be over.
You just want it to be over, huh? You don't like gear 2. Why? And that's the question. Why don't we like gear 2? And we need it for growth. It's like we're going to go through some of these gears, and some of y'all ain't going to like them. But at any given time, you're operating within them. And if you stay in them too long, or watch this, there's also a problem with the engine if you skip gears too.
Mm-hmm. But you can.
Yeah, but you're ruining the engine. You're setting yourself up for long-term problems. Empress Puff says, she's on Instagram Live, I'm a social butterfly, so I like to connect and learn from others and myself. And that's easy for social butterflies. Thank you for your input. It's a little more difficult for introverts, but social butterflies might stay in this gear too long, where introverts try to skip it altogether. I'm just talking about healthy things. I'm just talking about healthy gears. Each gear we will all spend time in. Social butterflies love this gear. And they'll just stay in it. Some people just stay in it. Some people just want to skip it altogether. And it really, you're going to come back to this gear eventually in life. You're going to have to connect deeply with somebody or something. Some people connect deeply with Hennessy. It's alcohol. Some people connect deeply, but because of this lack of connection, and if you're outside of Christ, you're going to be looking for things that only Christ can fill. You're going to need that deep connection with other people. I'm talking about successful people. I'm talking about people moving in the same direction. I'm talking about the elite. There, when I talk to Jeremy Kupacek, he's not successful. He's elite in what he does. The elite know that they have to operate, and they're aware. They have a self-awareness, knowing what gear they're in that particular moment. I'm just trying to give y'all some good stuff. I'm just trying to give you some stuff that the elite have given me. I'm going to give you this stuff for free right now. All right, so I'm just trying to give it to you. We all there? We all there? We all there? Okay, very good. Guys, listen, here's the question of the day. Question of the day is, when was the last time you bet on yourself? Everybody said every day. All right, but give me, that's great. I'm glad you bet on yourself every day. Give me an example to where you wrote the check when it came to you. I ain't talking about just wake up. I'm talking about you wrote the check where you invested in yourself financially. You invested in your own business, not just looking for investors and looking for people to bless you. You wrote the check. You showed up every day when nobody else was showing up. That's what I'm talking about, betting on yourself. There is something, oh my goodness, I don't want to bring it up because I'll say it wrong. I kind of glanced over it this morning. I was talking about a certain type of innovation. When was the last time you created something for people or that they didn't even know they needed? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really betting on yourself. I'm talking about writing that check. I'm talking about making the sacrifice. I'm talking about moving past being interested in a process, but being committed to a process. That's the betting on yourself I'm talking about. All right. Somebody said I started my own mobile barber business. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. That's betting on yourself. I had no idea that anybody was going to come, but he started. The pandemic hit or whatever. I don't know if that caused you to do it, whatever the case may be, but that's an innovative way to still keep money and put money in your pocket and still provide for your family. I love that. PR Panther on Instagram Live says finishing her degree. I love that. You bet on yourself. Pep 342, a few months ago, we started his painting business. That's right. You're stepping out. You're betting on yourself. Melanie says, I do like connecting with other people. I have to connect with people every day on my job. So for some of you, it's a job. All right. So the first 2 years, rest and recharge. Yes.
Question.
Sure.
Before the break, do you want to do our 6 cents?
Yeah, let's do that.
And then take us into the break, and then
here's our 6 cents, everybody.
Okay, so you have it in front of you as well, Dad. So this is just a like an advice column or whatever. So we have this let me
set it up with our 6 cents for you new hey, Sierra Hart says becoming an entrepreneur. She's bet on herself. Very good, thank you. Our 6 cents is we receive random questions and we just give our 6 cents. I give my 2 cents. Kyer gives her 2 cents. Janae gives her 2 cents. So, all right.
Okay. So, am I a jerk for hiding all my girlfriend's skincare products to prove she doesn't need them?
I'll let the ladies answer that. Someone asked the question. Someone wrote into the show. Is this person? Oh, say it again.
Am I a jerk for hiding all my girlfriend's skincare products to prove that she doesn't need them?
What you say, Kyer?
If you don't buy them, don't touch them.
Very good. Okay. Kyer saying she ready to fight somebody.
There.
You don't buy her, don't touch it. Friend or not, you didn't buy it, you don't touch it.
Yeah, no, definitely. He could have for solutions on what you could do instead. Is just just leave her alone. Like it has nothing to do with him.
Oh, so it's a guy that touched it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell from a guy's point of view. Alpha male, heterosexual alpha male. You ready? You ain't got no business touching your girl stuff. What's wrong with you? That's me. Now I know that I'm a dinosaur, and I know that alpha heterosexual African American male in today's society. We, nobody like us, but I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth. A man don't touch no female products, hiding it from her. Just talk to her.
Yeah.
I don't care if you black, white, Hispanic, everywhere. A man ain't touching no lady stuff. That's that young boy stuff. That's
trying to hide it.
I got my cousin over here on Instagram. He got what? We're men of a certain age. We ain't touching no female products. Use what you got to use. Thank you for saying that, Levi. That's right. Good to see you, Levi. And Greg Caven, don't touch your stuff. All my alpha men are checking in. That's right. Don't touch her stuff. Don't touch her stuff. Yeah, the heart to heart says over on Instagram, that's just childish.
Yeah. And what do you mean, to prove she doesn't need them? I
think that person's a secret leader.
Anyway.
What do you say, Kaya?
I said I'm going to use them anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think that person is. I think she's a secret hater. Maybe her friend's skin, or if it's a guy that's trying to touch her stuff.
It's a boyfriend-girlfriend situation.
There are some guys, and I'm gonna say this. I can do a whole show on that. I know some dudes that are jealous of how good their woman looks. Like they want to be the center of attention everywhere. Yeah. See, I've been around a long time. And I can spot that punk out every time I see him. He's jealous that his wife gets more attention, or that his wife is prettier than he is. Quite frankly, my wife is fine. I don't need to be fine. My wife is. So if it's a guy doing that, he's a straight up chump in my eyes. All right. Let me stop. Let me calm down. But it's just a whole. I have a whole beef with some of these young cats out here today. Oh my God, wearing mascara. All right, let me move on. Okay, let me go. Let me go to break. And we'll come back and we'll talk about gear 3, 4, and 5. Gear 3, 4, and 5. All right, and I hope this is blessing you today. We'll be right back on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, Instagram. You guys hang on in there with me.
Revive Hydration is a proud sponsor of the Ralph Graves Morning Show. Revive Hydration is the first IV hydration and vitamin infusion service in the South Jersey area. For more details, please visit their website at www.revivehydration.com, or you can give them a call at 856-485-0070. Again, their website, www.revivehydration.com, or give them a call at 856-485-0070.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I am the author of this book called Unstoppable. Now, what Unstoppable is about is it's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. Why don't you pick up your copy today? Go to my website, www.ralphgravesjr.com. Go to Amazon. This book is sold wherever fine books are sold, anywhere in the country. My name is Ralph Graves. Let's be unstoppable together. Much as the sniffles. Hey guys, we're back. So go check out Revive Hydration. It's in Sewell, New Jersey. Dr. Rocco Caden. All right, guys, we're back. We're back. And we're talking about getting into gear. Hey, Greg Caven. Greg, if you're listening, guess who just hit me up on Instagram Live? But this is this little sidebar. Remember Jeff Pelly? Just type, yeah, I remember Jeff. He just hit me on Instagram Live, man. These guys are grown and growing up. He's doing great things. Again, Jeff, thanks for saying that. Thanks for checking this out. Okay, here we go. Number 3, gear number 3. Now, remember, anybody you deal with on a particular point of the day, and even yourself, it's about self-awareness. It could be in any one of these 5, 6 gears that we're talking about. Gear number 3, be social. Be social. Third gear is about being social and building friendships. It happens in coffee shops. When you go to coffee shops, now you can do coffee virtually, okay? It happens at dinner parties when you used to be able to do dinner parties. Other social gatherings. It's the secret ingredient in business that people overlook. If you're in sales, you know you got to be social. If you're doing here's the thing, guys. God didn't create us to be solo as far as doing our thing. Human beings are social beings. Our businesses grow from being social. We mature from being social. You can't be afraid to be social. There's a gear that you may operate in that moment is, hey, this is my social gear, right? It's not as I'm not resting and recharging. I'm not deeply connecting, but I'm social. That's why we have, if being social wasn't so important, social media would have crashed a long time ago. We have social media. if you are selling something, if you have a gift, if you are doing something, you can't sell a secret. You can't be secretive about a hidden talent or whatever you're trying to do. I talk to so many people, and I think we're getting it now where I'm doing such and such, and I'm like, well, why are you hiding that? How come that's not on every platform? The secret ingredient in business that many people overlook is being social. All right, being social, and that doesn't mean you have to be, out there dancing and acting crazy, but be social, be approachable. Hey, my name's so and so. Don't be afraid to talk to people. One of the things that and I hate that I when I talk to elite people like you all, when I talk to elite people, they talk about the importance of cross-pollination. I know you have your tribe, I know you have your culture, right? But you better be able to move in every culture. You better be able to move in every society. It's cross-pollination. All right. That's why we're here. I may not know all about your culture, but I like to learn. I like to respect it. I like to be able to move in it. Of course, I'm comfortable in my own, but I need to learn to be social and stay social if you guys are not social. What do you guys think about that? Gear number 3. Now you could be operating in that right now. Now you might have to be somewhere, right? So I need to be in third gear when I'm here. I have to be social. I need to be in third gear. I need to be third gear. I might be at the dinner table around my house. I need to be third gear. I can't be, we're having dinner. I can't be in gear number 5. I can't be in gear number 1. My wife's talking to me. My children are talking to me. We're not connecting deeply, but we are talking. I need to be in third gear. I need to be in third gear. I need to be in this conversation. I need to be social. I need to nod my head. I need to listen, right? I need to listen. Michelle Graham's Facebook Live says, I love being social with small group friends, but not in a large party setting. Very good. I used to love opposite. I used to love the opposite, but as I aged, it changed. Right? Yes, of course you have different things changing. Shona Clark says, navigating in different atmospheres and environments. It's a must. You have to learn how to cross-pollinate. You have to learn how to navigate, like she said, in different environments, right? PR Path on Instagram Live says, I'm looking to be more social, to be a better witness. Amen. If you're a Christian, right, you got to be social. Got to be social, be a better. Let your light so shine before men that they might see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Can't hide a lamp under a bushel, but then it stays dark. All right. So what do you guys think, my co-hosts, about being social?
I approach it just like you just explained, like, okay, I'm about to do this thing, so let me be social. Like, yeah. I have to prepare myself because, again,
that's fine.
Introverted personality, and it's very easy for me to be in a friend setting, a social setting, and just sit there. It's super easy for me not to do anything. Yeah. But I have to be like, okay, this is the time where you be social, especially because my fiance is extremely social and I go places with him to be social. And about 2 hours in, I'm drained completely of it. And he's just getting started. Right, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to stay here a little longer, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do approach it like, this is it. This is the time. This is what we've been training for.
Yeah. You're right. And so, but you know what? I'm glad you recognize that. Now we're talking to those, okay, if you're dating someone, if you have a spouse, if you have a fiance, remember, they're not always in the same gear as you're in. They may need you to switch gears to be where they are, or they may need to switch. So we're getting along if we're recognizing which gear each other are in and what gear I need to be in to connect with you, or what gear does the moment need me to be in? All right. What gear does this moment need me to be in? What gear does this moment need me to be in? You guys are responding great. Instagram live is saying, Pep said, I had to limit the platforms because I was pulled into a matrix of it all. Yeah, so know yourself, okay? If you have to limit social media platforms, do that. But knowing Pep, he's my cousin, he's not antisocial. He can be in any room and can converse with anybody. Smooth Barber says, I'm only social when I'm cutting outside. When I'm cutting outside of cutting hair, I have to do better. He realizes that about himself. He's social when it comes to business, but maybe not as social when he's not. Greg Caven says this, who's another phenomenal man in my life. He says this, put it up on the screen for me. Greg Caven. He says, I can be by myself or I can be the life of the party. And sometimes while being social, you have to switch gears and pass the life of the party torch to someone else and let them switch gears too. Very self-aware of who he is. All right. So we're talking about these gears that we're all operating in. This whole morning, I got 20 minutes left. It's just all about being aware. Self-awareness is just because what doesn't get measured doesn't get moved. And I'm glad that you said that, Janae, about realizing where your fiance is in that particular moment and where you are in that particular moment. Now, guys, listen, this is not for you. What we go over in this rooms for about an hour, what we talk about, don't go beat nobody over the head with it. Just be aware. Just be aware of where you are and they are. Kaya, what do you think about that be social gear? You're the youngest of my crew, and I know you're social. I know you don't have a problem with this gear, right?
Yeah, I was about to say I don't really have a problem with it. But I do get in my moods when I don't feel like I want to talk to people. So like
Right.
if I see somebody I know, I act like I don't see them. So I don't have to say anything. But it's like a time of day. So after like 3-4 p.m. I'm good.
Okay.
Depending on if I've been up and interacting in the morning. But
Right.
otherwise.
Right. Yeah. So you know yourself. Again, it's all about being self-aware. It's about knowing who you are, knowing yourself, knowing what gear you're in, knowing what gear the other person that you. Now, what if you you guys are at work, right? And you guys are doing some sales stuff. You might be in gear 2 or gear whatever, and you're trying to do a sale or trying to sell or trying to connect with somebody in gear 1 or somebody in gear 2. So you have to be aware of that. And we need to call it out like football plays, Greg, Jeff Pelly. 2. Pep is on here too. 2. That means, hey, listen, you're at a 5, but I need you to come down to a 2. You're at a 5, but I need you to come down to a 3 right now. Gear number 4 is lead in a task world. Now, what does that mean? Lead in a task world. Most adults spend their day multitasking. That's what we do. All of us are in gear 4, man. We are in gear 4 most of the day. Phone calls, emails, chores, and more. You got kids. You got all kinds of stuff at home. And if you're a parent, you're pulled all over the place. God forbid you're a single parent and you're doing it by yourself and you got multiple. Oh man, it's crazy. So most adults spend their day multitasking with phone calls, emails, chores, and more. Learning how to manage 4th gear correctly is the key to maximum productivity. And so like, it's just like in a car, right? 1st gear, just getting out. 2nd gear, just getting out. 3rd gear. 4th gear is that cruising gear, right? Is that you kind of cruising, right? And if you learn how to navigate 4th gear correctly, I got to have a whole show on that. If we know how to ride in 4th gear correctly, it's the key for maximum productivity. But you might be in 4th gear multitasking, dealing with somebody. You're trying to multitask and you call somebody and it's their Sabbath. It's their day to rest and recharge. That's a difficult moment. And you might have to tell them, listen, I need you to hop into gear real quick. And if you're talking to anybody that's on these platforms in which we're talking, my response is, okay, what gear you need me to be in? And I'm going to come to that gear. Whatever gear you need me to be in, that's what gear I'm going to be in. Because
I'm going to ask you to call me back.
What'd you say today?
I'm going to ask you to call me back.
If you're not in gear with Janae, she said you got to call her back.
I can't just be around.
What do you guys say about that multitasking gear? That's the gear we stay in a lot. We stay in that multitasking gear. I mean, I'm looking at 4 devices in front of me now. I'm looking at 4 devices. You know? What do you guys say about that? You guys good in that gear? You think you're good? I listen, when we break that gear down in a couple weeks, I don't think there's really such thing. If you're multitasking, that really means you're not doing anything well.
Yeah.
You realize that.
You're just getting it done.
Getting it done, but nothing's getting done at a high level. If you're multitasking, that's why we have 5th gear. That's why we have 5th gear. Nothing gets done at a high level when you multitask. It gets done, gets efficient, but it's not elite. It's not your best work. It's not your most focused work, right? Multitasking, Heart to Heart 4 says it takes away from intentionality. She's right. She's absolutely right. It takes away from being intentional. Priorities come first, aka 4036 says that. Pep says, I don't like it. Give me one task at a time, knock it out, and move to the next task. He don't like 4th gear. I don't like being, give me one task at a time. I ain't trying to do 10 things at once, right? And I get that. I get that. You know, you will leave stuff. Suzette Wild says on Facebook Live, she said, you live by multitask and you die by multitasking. Amen to that. Amen to that. You will live by the multitask and die by the multitask. Now, we don't want to stay in 4th gear too long. Even though we're there, here comes 5th gear. 5th gear, get in the zone. This is the gear of the focused. This is where we are fully focused, thinking strategically or working without interruption on important tasks. Time flies when you're here. You get things done when you're there. Progress is made when you're there. Hey, listen, I know when I'm in 5th gear the most. What's today, Wednesday? I'll be in 5th gear Thursday and Friday. The closer it gets to Sunday, the more I stay in 5th gear. Because the most important thing for me on Sunday is bringing forth the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ correctly. And so I can only do that by getting in that zone, by getting in that 5th gear. What does that mean? That means the phone is off. I've sent out text messages to my family, and Janae can attest. Hey guys, phone is off. I'm going deep for a few hours. I'll check back in with you later on. All right. That's true. Thank you. Thank you for validating that. That's that gear where the most gets done. That's that gear of extreme focus. And time does fly. Sister Joyce Smith says, I don't like being bothered when I'm in this gear. So set it up to where you're not bothered when you're in 5th gear. In 5th gear, nobody wants to be bothered. You are, when I had a motorcycle, I think 5th gear was what? Overdrive? Or was that 6th gear? I don't know. I had a 1500. I had 5. It's overdrive. Don't want to be bothered. I'm cruising right now. I am cruising. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want the phone ringing. I'm not answering text messages. I am focused. I put my head down. I look up. And strategically 5 or 6 hours have gone by. But you know what? My best work is done in 5th gear. Your best work, I'm talking to all these cameras, is done when you're in 5th gear. Right? That's your best work. Your best work. Now, watch this. If you're in 1st gear and you know your spouse is in 5th gear, don't go in there with 1st gear nonsense. Don't go in there. Don't go in there with trying to connect deeply. Don't go in there in 2nd gear and your spouse or the person you're with is in 5th gear getting something done. My wife is killing it in her master's program. I know when she's in 5th gear. I don't try to connect deeply when she has to read 8 chapters in 2 days. All right, you gotta be aware. Now, if you're in 5th gear. And somebody else is in 2nd gear, don't clob them over the head because they didn't speed up to you. It's just not their moment. I'm in 1st gear. It's my Sabbath. It's rest and recharge. You gotta get with me on another time, another day. Guys, I'm just trying to make this plain. I'm trying to get you to understand yourself and understand how to deal with people. Chixmore says this is a very important topic to discuss, especially with the pandemic. that came to us as a shock. No one prepared for it. Focus is key for your mental health. There has been a lot of distraction. All right. So be aware, be focused. Thanks for your comment. AKA 4036 says you got to be wise. If you know somebody is in their fifth year, man, and they're focused and they're getting their work done, whether it's students, whether it's working on business, whether it's let them be, unless you're gonna go in there in fifth gear yourself. Unless you in fifth gear too. Now, there's another gear in our all right, here you go. Sister Joy Smith asked a great question. How do you get them to understand that it's not personal, it's productive? You got to drop back down to second gear and connect with them. All right. Drop it down. You're breaking your car back down. You're breaking yourself back down to second gear. You need them to get to second gear, and you have to connect with them and say, listen to me. I'm not shutting you out. I'm not ignoring you, but I'm focused. I'm going to this fifth gear, and I need these hours to be the most productive for you and for me. And hopefully you're dealing with somebody mature enough to understand that. Does that help, Sister Joyce? Does that help? And then cut your phone off and cut off your notifications. Cal Newport in his book, Deep Work, talks about the 4 cycles of deep work. Don't answer emails. Don't answer none of that. Just turn off notifications. I don't care if somebody messaging you on Facebook Live or Facebook. Oh, it's another thing too, guys. I got 9 minutes because I got to deal with the reverse. When you text somebody and they don't text you right back, you don't know what gear they're in. Now you guys know this stuff now, okay? So don't get mad because they ain't hit you right back in 2 minutes. You don't know if they in fifth, fourth, third, second, first. You don't know. Just because you're in first gear don't mean the person you text is in first gear. All right. Just trying to help you.
They could be taking a nap.
They could be taking a nap. They could just have all their stuff off. I've had my stuff off. Pastor ain't get back to me. Listen, it's okay. I'll get back to you when I can. We are talking about operating at elite level. We're talking about reaching goals. We're talking about vision. We're talking about becoming the person that God called you to become. I got to get reverse in here. This is now, if you're driving the manual stick shift, right? You drop down to reverse. Now, reverse for us is this: respond and apologize. Let me put this thing in reverse. Let me respond and apologize. Most people struggle with backing up and apologizing. Most people struggle with that. Reverse is all about owning your mistakes. You make mistakes, I make mistakes. You know why? Because we're not perfect. So reverse is all about owning my mistakes and moving forward in a healthy way. I'll own that. Own your mistakes and move forward in a healthy way. Apologize. And don't use the apology, if I offended you, I'm sorry. That's not an apology. You know you offended me. So just say, you know what? I did offend you and I apologize, or I apologize for offending you. Don't say if, I did. Anyway, am I helping? Am I helping at all? I'm just trying to help us navigate through life, man. I mean, I'm that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help you be unstoppable. Just trying to help you navigate through life. I'm just trying to help you understand and be aware of who you are and where you are. And every now and then you're going to have reverse. And guess what, parents? Guess what that means, parents? If you're a parent, sometimes you got to apologize to your kids. I know they're 10 years old, 11 years old, but sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you clearly have misunderstood them. You ought to be mature enough and say, you know what? Mom was wrong. Dad was wrong. Papa, my mom was wrong. I apologize. Do you know what kind of clout that will give you when you're wrong and you apologize to your kids? You know what kind of respect they'll give you? Gone are the days you do it because I told you to do it. I'm your dad and that's it. Well, you've been wrong before, haven't you? You can't be right all the time. Look how we live. You can't be right all the time. So, so that reverse, that sixth gear is like the car reverse. And for us, it's respond and apologize when wrong. All right, guys. That's all I got in that area. Let's review the 5 gears. Greg Caven says, I gotta jump, so I apologize. My son's trainer is here. Thanks for checking in for the show. That's all I have, guys. Let's reverse and rewind. Let's talk about it. Gear number 1, rest and recharge. Gear number 2 is connect deeply. Gear number 3, don't be afraid to be social. Gear number 4, lead in task world. Okay. Gear number 5, get in the zone. You are in one of those gears right now. You're in. When we hang up and we get off this thing, you'll be in one of those gears. And don't forget, if you got to go back, you got to respond and apologize.
I'm about to be in gear number 4.
And apologize. Guys, listen to me. Janae, we didn't do the verse of the day. Do the verse of the day real fast.
Oh, yes. All right. Here we go. While you're tinkering and wondering when the time is right to switch gears, consult the Lord. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to every season and a time, to every purpose under the heavens.
Ecclesiastes 3:1 says what? There is a time. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose unto heaven. Your verse of the day is Ecclesiastes 3:1. Thanks for reminding me, Mike, but I said it before you reminded me. I know we had to get there, but thanks, man. But guys, listen, if you don't know Christ as your personal savior, I mean, this is the key for me. I mean, we talk about some great stuff, but for me, I thank God that John 3:16 is in the Bible. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I thank God for those 25 words that can change your life. If you don't know Christ as your personal savior, come to him just as you are and ask Christ into your life as your personal savior and begin to give your life over to God. If you don't know a church that you can attend, email me. I'll send you to a church near you. I know plenty of Bible preaching, Bible teaching, gospel pastors, men and women that are doing phenomenal things. Hey, guys, if you want a mug, email me, Ralph@RalphGravesJr.com. The first 5 people, I got 5 or 6 mugs left. I don't know. But the first 5, I'll send out 5 to you today. Ralph@RalphGravesJr.com. Guys, thanks for checking in the program. I hope it blessed you. I hope you liked it. Guys, don't forget to run out and get Unstoppable anywhere where books are sold. That's my book, Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. If you haven't, jump on over to iTunes or Spotify and listen to my podcast, The Unstoppable Podcast with Ralph Graves Jr. There's some phenomenal guests on there with some great stories that will bless you. That will bless you. We Janae, Kair, 27 shows already. 27 podcasts already. That's amazing. And I have podcasts done all the way up till April. I've got tongue tied. All the way up till April. And so maybe we'll celebrate when we get 100 done. But guys, bless you all. You guys are an awesome audience. I hope it blessed you. Share it with somebody. Repost it. Go out and be all that you could possibly be. Any final words, ladies?
Yes. I finished this glass of lemon water, so you guys can do anything today.
Okay, very good. Kair.
Have a good day, everyone. Be productive.
All right, everybody. Thank you for that. Hey, guys, we'll see you next Wednesday right here on these platforms, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. We'll be back, and we'll have some more great conversation. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. My name is Ralph Graves Jr., and I'll talk to you later. See you.